Hello, good day. It is Monday here in Scotland at, I don't have a watch on. Okay, I don't know, 11, 12, something like that. I tend to do these vlogs when I've got a moment, when I step outside to take my dogs out just to say hey, have a chat. And today's number 9, getting on number 10 pretty soon. Okay, so I have a story. First off, when you live in the UK, there's a lot of flats or a lot of apartments, and of course, this is many places that there's sort of not communal living, but just places where you have multiple livings in one space. We have it's an older building, and it's about 1901 that it was made. I grew up in Northern California, and any house that we had that was in the town that was something like 1910, 1901, 1890, they were Victorian houses for obvious reasons, and they're a big deal. They're old. I had to pause, get my dogs back in line. Anyways, back in the little town that I grew up in, there was all these old houses, 100 years old. It's old. And then I come to the UK, and I live in a town that was founded 800 years ago. What is that like? At least 2 to 3 times, somewhere in between 2 and 3 times the age of the US, and living somewhere that has that much age, with that much of sort of a modern day people that are still here is different. And so when you see things that are like 100 years old, it's okay, great. Oh, it's an antique, okay, make it at least 200 years old or something like that. Whereas in America, or it's more like, if it's 50 years old, oh, it's vintage, and if it's 100 years old, it's antique. Anyways, I live in a house. It's a stone flat. It's 1901. It's got 4 levels. So you got ground, 1, 2, 3. I'm on the 3rd, top floor. And of the age and of this area, it's still quite common for fireplaces to exist, whether they're full-blown fireplaces or you've got some sort of wood stove, or even it's an electric heater or something, but it still looks like a fireplace. So I have one of these mantles with like a brick, and it's like this really nice, like, small red brick, and you could tell that it would have had a fireplace there at one point. When we moved in, there was some really crappy gas fire thing that wasn't even connected. It looked ugly, and it wasn't even connected, so we removed it. And there was like some weird metal with tape sort of blocking off the chimney inlet and the fireplace, so you get full access to the outside. So what I did was I found a nice piece of like red plywood that was a similar red to the brick. So I cut it very neatly and created like some wood wedges to be inside of the fireplace. So that way I was able to sort of clamp this piece of wood against the tile without doing any drilling or affecting anything. Right? Okay, perfect. So it looks okay. It sort of blends in. Put some plants there. And then one day we heard some ruckus behind the board. And we're like, oh, what's going on there? Turns out, and so you don't hear it after a bit. You're like, oh, it's nothing. And then you hear it again. You're like, okay, something's going on there. Unscrew the panel, crack in, get a flashlight. There's a pigeon. It's a pigeon that had somehow come down the chimney, and it was just there. And like, oh, okay, what do we do? How do we take care of this? I took a large cage, a kennel that I have, and kind of shimmied open the panel, and then put the kennel there, and let the bird kind of come in. And it was a bit bothered, so and you're trying to be very gentle with the bird, so that way it doesn't get hurt. You want it to be safe and fly away outside. So I did that, and like, oh, okay. Well, hopefully that doesn't happen again, because it's I'm not going on the roof. I gotta call somebody to take care of that. Anyways, then it happened again, and the exact same thing where it's this flutter. And then you do the same thing. You take the panel off. You do it out. So that's the second time. And then just yesterday, same exact thing. This pigeon comes in. I don't know if it like falls in, or I don't know what the deal is up on the roof. And so I hear this flutter, and then I unscrew the panel and I look, and it's just chilling. It was, and take the panel off, and then I had the opening to the kennel, and I put a blanket over it, so it's that way it doesn't see anything, it doesn't think it can fly, and it's really calm. This dude was so cool. He was like, "No, I'm good. I'm just gonna sit here on the perch," and then I kind of crack my head in, and I make a little like just sound to sort of activate maybe, hey, go into the thing. He just looks at me. He starts trying to like walk towards me. I'm like, okay, that's not gonna work. I don't need you flying around my house. So we like take a broom handle to sort of act as like, hey, maybe there's something to move from or something. And it just jumps onto the broom handle. It's like, oh, cool, another perch. I'm like, oh my God. Okay. We did get him out, and I brought him outside. And even then, the cage door is open for the kennel. Doesn't want to go anywhere. And I don't know, he was really cool. In another life, I would have had him as like a pet or a familiar or something. So those are just 3 instances with birds and that I've had recently, and I just wanted to share that story. I thought it was just interesting thing. I've never had to deal with that. Ages ago, I had a bat in a house in California that I had to get rid of. You're trying to get it out because bats generally have rabies in America. I don't know if all of them do, but you don't know, so you don't want to take that chance. So I think I just wanted to share that little story about this pigeon, and kind of because I don't want to harm the bird, and that includes having a very peaceful transition to leave. We took care to make sure that it didn't have any bother. It wasn't bothered, and you could tell because if it gets a bit bothered, it might lose some of its feathers. But this didn't happen. It was really cool, and yeah, just wanted to say that story. I hope everybody's doing okay today, and enjoy the week. Yeah, good to share this little bird story. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna leave it there. I would love to have you like and subscribe and all that. Do what you want. We'll talk soon. Okay, bye.